Happy Friday. We're going to go ahead and end our unit with doing some coding in code.org. We've talked about coding and we talked about human communication these last 2 days. And so I want us to just go ahead and conclude the unit with some coding ourselves. A lot of the things that we're doing, we're moving blocks and sort of putting together some pieces to a puzzle. But all of these things that's in this site is actually coding. So if we were to like dissect this website and go sort of behind the scenes, we will see a lot of the binary code and we will see a lot of the different coding that goes into putting together a website. So we're going to go ahead and finish out again with a lesson in code.org. So a lot of you are beyond a few of you are beyond lesson 5, but I'm noticing that a lot of you are right at either lesson 4 or right at lesson 5. I also know that I received quite a few text messages and emails the last time we completed a lesson in code.org. So I wanted to go ahead and create a video and show some ways that you can help yourself while you are completing the lesson in code.org. So one of the things, and this is the same thing that happened when we were in school, we would quickly raise a hand, oh, I'm stuck, I can't get this. And I want you to be reminded that I am not actually able to assist you necessarily in putting the pieces together. You really have to go through and go through the instructions and read the instructions. They are definitely there to guide you in putting together the pieces correctly. And so I'm going to show you how to do that without so much trying to show you, I guess, how or what pieces need to be connected, because you're supposed to be thinking about this in the way that, yes, it's going to be challenging, but what do you have to do to get through it? You have to persevere and again, show that grit to get through it. It's not going to be easy at all. You might have to do it more than once. Don't forget, we don't want any light green bubbles up here. We want these bubbles to be dark green to let us know that you finished it and completed it perfectly. If you get a light green, you need to go back because it's saying that you've used too many puzzle pieces or too many blocks, I should say. So if you are one of the kiddos who are having some issues with understanding how to get through a code.org lesson, continue watching the video. If not, you can go ahead and turn it off and complete just one of your lessons. I am also monitoring the lessons to see when the last time you guys checked in, because you are also going to have to complete an assignment that's attached to your lesson or that's related to your lesson. Is going to ask you some questions about your lesson and what you learned in your lesson. And if what you're saying you did doesn't match what you're saying on your assignment, I will reach out to you privately, because that is a problem that we'll have, and we'll have to go ahead and deal with that. But I want to go ahead and real quick show how to use the instructions to guide you. So right now I'm in lesson 5, and again, this is where a lot of you are going to end up for today's lesson. So I'm in lesson 5, and remember, these dots are all levels. These dots are not lessons, but they're levels within lesson 5. So what we need to do is we are going to invent bouncing the ball and trying to get the ball into the basket. So first, this is how it looks. This is what it looks like. They tell me get to the hoop, attach a block to the when left arrow event, and press run to move the player to the net. This is the first thing you need to do. This is the first level. It's the easiest level. So when left arrow, this is the when left arrow. I need to attach a block. They didn't tell me what block to attach. I'm going to choose the block to attach. These are the only 2 blocks that I have to choose from. So when I move the left arrow, it's only right in my mind that he actually moves left. So I'm going to put the move left block and attach it to the when left arrow right there. Once I do that and I click run, if I move left, success. And this is how I move to the next level. Moving me to the next level, here again, I have instructions. They're never going to send you to a level or to a lesson without instructions. A lot of times, even in your classwork, you want to go straight to doing and you're not reading. You got to pause and you got to read, because if you're not reading, you don't know what you're doing. And so this is when things get complicated. You're making it more complicated simply by not reading the instructions, you guys. It's going to be challenging as it is. So don't make it even more challenging because you're not reading the instructions. So now it's telling me, now attach a block to the when right event so that the hand can get to both buckets. Well, obviously, when he moves right, when the right arrow moves, he should move to the right. So that I did that. I only got 2 blocks to choose from. I moved the move right block underneath when right arrow. When I run it, if I move my right arrow, which I was doing on my keyboard, but if I move these, it should touch both. Boom, it's taking me to the next level. So all I'm doing, because trust me, I'm not a code whiz, so all I'm doing is following these instructions. We're going to send a basketball flying down towards the hand. Attach a block to the when ball hits hand event to ensure the ball reaches the basket. Now, they've given me some more of these green blocks. They also added this when run block. Now, I've played around with it and added this to see what needed to happen. But when left arrow, we already had him moving left. When right arrow, we had him move right. And now we need to actually add on. So when ball hits hand, when ball hits wall, when ball in goal, when ball misses hand, you need to come over here and look at the blocks that are available to you and simply move the blocks to what makes the most sense. Now, when the ball hits the hand, in my mind, and when I'm thinking of basketball, a basketball player is going to take the ball and bounce the ball towards the basket. So I'm not going to put move right, move left. No, when the ball hits my hand, what do I need the ball to do? That's what you guys need to be thinking about as you create this game. When ball hits the wall, what needs to happen? What do you need it to happen? If this was a video game and the ball just hit the wall and not like physically the ball hitting the wall, what's going to happen? Even if I want to think about a real basketball game and the ball hit the wall, what typically happens? Well, the ball usually bounces off the wall. So you want to think of it as what would happen in a real basketball game, or what would happen in the basketball game that you might be playing on your Xbox or your PlayStation. Here we go with when ball in goal. So when they say when ball in goal, what should happen when the ball goes into the net? Originally, you don't have, at least on this level, you don't have that score point. I made it past to the 6th level, which gave me more blocks. But if I didn't have that there, I would simply, when the ball go in, I would just play the sound, and I would play that net swish sound. But because I already passed this level, I'm going to keep my score point right there. But you don't have a score point in these blocks, so you have to use the blocks that are available to you. While you're over here, notice that you can move. If you have a drop down box, you can change that and make it whatever makes the most sense. So when the ball goes in, typically you hear the net swish. You want that sound to happen. And so that's what I would add to when ball and goal. When ball misses the hand, what should happen? You don't have this block, score opponent point. You don't have that block yet because we're not at that level. But if the ball misses your hand, what should happen? Do you want the ball to bounce? Should you hear a whistle because now it's going to go out of bounds or something? So think about what should happen when the ball misses your hand. We would click run, and it's not going to send us now because I have the incorrect stuff in here because I got score point. I got some blocks that shouldn't exist. But if I go to the next level, it continues to build on. So when a run, I had him sort of moving to the right, trying to get closer to the ball, thinking of how I should play the game. And you still have those same blocks. So let me get to where we saw some different blocks. So now I have more blocks to choose from. Score point, opponent point. That's the opposite player. You still have the same play whatever sound, move left, move right. This little comment guy, I'm not quite sure what to do with. So until I see it in the instructions, I'm not going to use it. And that's another thing that you guys need to think about. Don't just be using stuff and trying to connect stuff and then you wondering like why I can't get past this level, because you just did some stuff, right? You're not following the guide that's here to help you. So make sure you're reading this instruction every step of the way so you know what you're doing. That's how I did it. Here it's telling me there is now a hoop at the top. Now this is moved. Attach the score point block to the when ball and goal block. I'm going to pause right there and do exactly that. So the score point block is right here. It asks me to find the when ball and goal. So I'm going to look for that green block that says when ball and goal. and then I would simply just add that score point to it, which is already there. I'm going to just delete one to show you. So score point, that's what they're telling me to do. Attach the score point block. I just did that to the win ball and goal block event, and then score opponent point block to the win ball misses hand event. So here we had, I'll get rid of those. When ball misses hand, they're telling me right here to attach the score opponent point. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I also know that when we hear a point, we should hear a sound. We should hear a net switch sound. I'm going to also do that for my win ball and goal, because that's what typically happens when you make a shot. And then you want to run it. If you scroll this up and down, you'll see what they say. See how many points you can score before your opponent scores twice. Run it, move your arrows, play the game. You want to try to beat your opponent. Notice I'm playing the game, trying to catch up where he goes. Now, based on what we said and we put this together, when the ball goes in the goal, we're going to hear a swish. If it misses my hand, which it just did, that automatically means that the opponent scored a point. And so the opponent scored another point because it missed my hand again. It's going to move me to the next level. All I'm going to do again, and I'm going to cut the video off now, but all I'm going to do again is read these instructions because they're telling me what to do the entire way. Also, you still have to use some logic and think about those personal connections and think about what needs to happen when you put something together. So when you put the block over here, I know to make a net switch sound because when I hear a game, the connection that I make is I hear that sound in regular games. So make sure you're using some logic, but make sure you're also reading these instructions. Once you're done with this, make sure you complete your assignments in Google Classroom.